Brought to you straight from the Koffler Bulldog Studio at Bryant University, this is the Bryant News Broadcast, hosted by Mike Cronin and Sarah Larrabee, featuring Nolan Thompson with the weather, Brian Walsh and Chad Sabo with sports, and Teresa Navarra and Courtney Vetter with the Bryant Update. This episode is sponsored by the Media Production Club.
While we've all heard about the tragedy of the 8.9 magnitude earthquake and resulting tsunami that hit Japan and other Pacific nations, including the coast of California, and the conditions are only becoming worse.
Now experts are most worried about the nuclear reactors at Japan's major nuclear power plant. Although the reactors shut down automatically when the earthquake was detected, the tsunami flooded backup generators, leaving them as a ticking time bomb.
Explosions because of pressure buildups and fires are now causing lethal amounts of radiation and other toxic gases to leak into the atmosphere, and thousands are worried about a radioactive meltdown.
As always, we are hoping for improvements, but we will certainly keep you posted as more information becomes available.
And the crisis in Japan is also having effects on the global economy. As Japan's stock market has plunged 16%, it has caused drops in stocks on Wall Street. American companies are concerned because Japan accounts for 10% of U.S. exports. Japan is also responsible for much of the automobile industry. Toyota and Honda have halted production in all of their plants in Japan, and one economist has said that this could have the largest impact on the global auto business since World War II.
In other news now, medical marijuana will soon be available to compassion centers that have been approved by the Rhode Island Department of Health. Out of 18 applicants, only 3 were chosen to sell the drug, and now these centers are going to have to abide by very strict guidelines in order to keep their medical licenses. Medical marijuana was approved by the General Assembly back in 2006, but there was never a process for patients to safely and legally obtain the drug. This was the second round of accepted applications, and there will be more in the future depending on the success of this program. Speaking of things that are green, St. Patrick's Day is this Thursday. I know it's your favorite holiday, so...
You know, absolutely. I don't think that's a secret to anyone who knows me. Out of all the days of the year, it's my favorite day of the year. I just love it, look forward to it. But do you have any plans for the big day?
Well, it's going to be tough getting through all the classes.
Right.
But I know there's a scavenger hunt for a pot of gold on campus.
Pot of gold?
So, and I think it has an iPod Touch in it. So we'll have to see who can find the clues and get to the end of the rainbow.
That sounds even better than finding a leprechaun.
You are very right. Well, speaking of our crazy guy, here's Nolan with a look at the weather.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, taking a look at the map right now, you can see we are in the clear, but that's not going to last for long if you take a look at the weekly forecast. We have rain coming in for tomorrow and temperatures in the 50s. Thursday's looking pretty good, though. We're looking for some nice weather on St. Patrick's Day. Temperatures near 60 and sunshine should be abundant. Saturday expects some showers again, but Sunday and Monday are looking pretty good. Temperatures in the upper 40s, but showers will return on Tuesday. Temperatures low 50s. Well, that's your weather this week. Now over to Brian and Chad with sports.
The Bryant lacrosse season is finally underway. Our Bulldogs face a tough Drexel program on Sunday afternoon at VDAS Field. The Bulldogs were down 7-3 with under 9 minutes to play, but they managed to score 4 straight goals to knot the game at 7 and send the game to overtime. The game didn't just stop at 1 overtime, it went to 4. But sadly, the Drexel Dragons prevailed as Kyle Bergsman scored the game winner with 39 seconds left to play in overtime. Senior Gary Crowley of our Bryant Bulldogs scored 4 of the Bulldogs' 7 goals, including the game-tying shot. Max Weisberg scored 2 goals for Bryant as well. Coach Presler quotes, "To make a comeback like that, your lead guys have to be in the forefront," end quote. The action returned Saturday when the Bulldogs traveled to New York to face Hobart College.
It's March. Spring training has just begun, but all sports fans care about this time of year? Bracketology. It's madness, I tell you. Surprises every year, upsets every year. College basketball never disappoints. Last year, Northern Iowa. This year, it could be St. John's or, hey, even Oakland. Fans have many different methods of picking, from a range intense research to who has the best mascot, or my personal favorite, the dartboard method. Fans do try to get perfect brackets, but sadly, it doesn't happen. This year for my Final Four, I like Louisville, Ohio State, Florida, and Duke. But when it's all said and done, I like Duke to win the title. Now, every year, there are always teams that could have and should have made it into the field of 68, but get left out on the bubble. One team every year is Virginia Tech, whose bubble got popped Selection Sunday. Sorry, Virginia Tech. While other teams are not deserving to get into the sports tourney. Now, Chad, what do you think of the selection committee's pick this year?
Well, I didn't think it went well this year. I have to agree with you, Virginia Tech. I believe they should have gotten in, but two other teams too, Colorado and Alabama. Alabama had 2 wins over Georgia, who I believe should not have gotten in. They also had a win over 4-seed Kentucky. And Colorado, they had 2 wins over Kansas State, who's a 5-seed, and Texas, who's a 4-seed as well.
I agree with you on Alabama, but come on, man. Colorado, I know they beat Texas, I know they beat Kansas State twice, but you're inconsistent. You're 20-13. Even though you're in the Big 12, I think a team like Coastal Carolina should have gotten in this year. They were 28-5. They beat LSU, and yes, they didn't win their conference in the Big Sky, but overall, a team with 28 wins should be in.
The committee probably looked at their strength of schedule and saw that it wasn't enough, and they didn't allow them to go in. That's why I think Colorado and Alabama were more deserving.
All right, that's actually a good point, Chad. But overall, this year, it's going to be a good tournament. Can you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good tournament. Hopefully we saw a lot of upsets here. Hopefully Kansas beats Ohio State in the championship game. Hopefully the Morris twins do well.
You like Kansas? I got them losing to Illinois. I personally think Duke's going to win the title this year.
That's a good pick as well. If Kyle Irving is 100% healthy and he comes back in time, they could be doing good.
All right, let's go Duke. Back to you, Mike.
Well, I and many other seniors are worried about trying to find that job and would take almost any full-time job that's offered at this point. But one new study now says to think twice about the decision that you make. According to the Occupational and Environmental Medicine Journal, having a bad job is worse for your mental health than not having a job at all. The study says that working at a job that you feel is too demanding is more detrimental to your mental health than not having a job at all. Well, I guess I'll have to wait and see if that actually does hold true.
In national news now, a Californian man created quite a ruckus for banks when he decided to pay a big bill with a lot of coins. Terry Chahez loaded up his cargo van with enough rolled pennies to pay off a $65,000 credit card bill. However, no local bank could accept his payment because they did not have enough space in their vault. Eventually, the matter was resolved, but it remains unknown at this time as to why Chahez decided to pay with pennies or how long it took him to collect those 650,000 Abe Lincolns.
Sounds a little crazy to me. I don't know if I'd want to be
That's
doing
a lot
that
of
for a long time.
pennies.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine.
I hate pennies. I don't know about you, but when I get pennies, I'm like, oh, I got to get rid of these things.
Well, I guess he's been saving for quite some time, and $100 isn't, a piggy bank.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's impressive, but not many people would be willing to do that, I don't think.
Right. Here's Teresa and Courtney with your Bryant update.
The Power of Excellence was the theme this year. On March 10th, Bryant University hosted the 14th Annual Women's Summit. Directed by our very own First Lady, Katie Makeley, the event brought together nearly 1,000 men and women for a day of networking and skill building. The highlight was the 4 guest speakers who shared their personal and professional success tips. Additionally, there were 20 workshop sessions, exploring topics such as leadership and negotiation. One day had quite an impact on all who attended, with lessons learned and friendship shared by all.
Bryant students have proven that they can go green for more than just St. Patty's Day. In fact, our campus is in Recycle Mania. Bryant has experienced a 130% increase in recycling since the campus-wide recycling initiative was started by SIFE and the Green Team last fall. Bryant's involvement in Recycle Mania this year marks the first time the university has participated in the nationwide program since the initiative was put into place last fall. And Bryant students have definitely delivered, collecting about 12 pounds of recyclables per student last fall. The goal this year is 20 pounds per student, so put your bottles in the blue container and your paper in the green, and let's keep up the great work.
I have a proposition for you.
What?
Well, I overheard that there is a group of students on campus in an advanced studio production class, and they are starting a game show.
What kind of game show?
They are doing a kind of newlywed spin-off, and they're trying to find the most desirable couple on campus that knows the most about each other.
And we would, of course, be the perfect fit.
Yeah. Your favorite meal is pizza and french fries. Duh.
Yeah.
What more do I need
eat
to
it
know?
every single day in delicious Salmo. So this is for a class?
Yeah, it's for Professor Dooley's class, from what I've heard.
What class is it for? Studio
It's for
production?
an advanced studio production class.
That
yeah.
sounds interesting. Maybe Bryant students should look into it if they want to be game show producers.
I think we'd win, which is why I think that we shouldn't join, actually.
I think we're obnoxious enough to make people just tell us to shut up and leave.
Which is probably what they're thinking right now, so let's throw it back to Mike and Sarah.
Thank you, Teresa and Courtney. Well, from all of us here at the Bryant News Broadcast, I'm Mike Cronin.
I'm Sarah Larrabee. Make sure to tune in every week as we bring you more on the things that you want to know. Have a great St. Patrick's Day, everyone.